আপনারা দেখছেন আজকের বাজার টেলিভিশন।
As I started by saying that it's the fifth time that the ICSB is giving their awards. And this is the season for awards. This is the first one. We should soon have the award of the Chartered Accountants and then the awards of the Management Accountants. These three sort of kind of awards which are given one after the other is very well directed, I should say. The objective is bring about greater order, more efficiency and more transparency. Transparency is very important, has become increasingly important because you are not satisfied with reports which try to hide something or other. I think this is a charm of competition and global business that every time the reports bring out more transparently the conditions of a company, how it is working, how it is serving the various interests that it's supposed to be. It's brought out very clearly in these reports. I think as Mirza Aziz and his team, the jury board, went with the reports to judge which are the good ones. They have, of course, considered the traditionally acceptable standards for good business, for good governance. They have certainly looked at the legal appropriateness of the standards. And above all, they must have come to the conclusion finally whether it's the right thing to do. Yes, laws are required and they have to be observed. Compatibility is very important for every organization. Traditions are there to be followed. But above all, the question is whether it's the right thing to do at the right time. If that criteria satisfies your concerns and your examination, you perhaps bring out the results, grading various parties in order of merit. Soon we shall be knowing who are the companies who have done well this time, as we start giving them the awards which are all lined up there. I see a large number of them, so there will be many kinds of awards. And I'm sure these awards will increase as we go from one organization to the other. When it comes to the chartered accountants, perhaps they will give even more awards because they will have much more sectors to sort of cover, and diversification is obviously taking place every year. And every year, therefore, we expect that we shall have more awards given to the recipients of those who have done well. Now, corporate governance is increasingly becoming important. I think, as we know, when life began, it was family governance, that was quite enough. Then we went into the societal governance. Then we went into nations governance. And now, of course, it has become much wider. We now look forward to international governance rules and regulations. And as we know, even in making the judgment today, the international standards have been observed and they are carefully studied and looked every year as they are changed from time to time. I would not take much time. I must say something about my experience today. Yesterday was a day of horrible traffic, although it was Friday. The reason was that the Awami League distributed its nomination papers. It began at about 3, but from midday, I should say, certain areas of the city was so crowded that it was moving. Crawling was the only thing that you could do. Today, yes, it's a much better day, but still, I was in a gathering just before I came here, which was the concluding session of the Lit Fest in Bangladesh. That was the 8th, yours is 5th. Lit Fest is an international festival now, and Bangladesh is very much on the world map for the excellent Lit Fest that takes place here. We get a lot of Nobel laureates, we get a good number of the best literatures of the world, you see. And today, from there I came quite late, but it is a very good experience today, because mostly when I come to these meetings of ICAB, ICAB and ICSB, I have to wait for quite some time before we are brought to the sort of the podium and the stage. Today, no. The moment I came in, within sort of a couple of minutes, the proceedings of the meeting started. So it's a very pleasant experience that way. And I would like to conclude this gathering also in the same way by drawing a stop to my speech, not bothering you much more, but wishing you, giving you best wishes, and wishing those who will receive the awards today, congratulations from the bottom of our hearts, you see, because your receiving the award is not simply something that you have achieved, but it's a recognition which the whole society or the whole crowd, the corporate bodies are giving to you. Well, with these words, I'd like to conclude. All of you, all the best wishes to all of you. Khuda Hafiz, Jai Bangla, Jai Bangla.